Hey everybody, it's Michael B. I gotta figure out how to get that off the screen. That's why I'm late. I was playing around with that. Anyways, guys, I hope you are all excited about tonight. I'm pretty excited about it. Should be a fun night. We're gonna be talking all about Arcade1Up at CES, and I got some new news on that. They're gonna be at CES, virtually. And also, we're going to be talking about the silliness that's going to happen between now and when Arcade1Up officially announces their announcements, their new cabinets. There's going to be leaks everywhere, and you got to be eagle-eyed to make sure that certain ones are real and certain ones aren't real. Just be careful, because excitement's running wild, and for some reason people like pranking people, like we saw the other day with the House of the Dead 2 shooter cab. Anyways, that's what we're talking about tonight, all on Chill and Chat with Michael B. Wait a minute, guys. So I got a new feature here. Boom! Look at that. Super chat from How to Bachelor. Thanks for being the man. I don't know if I'm the man, but thank you very much. Very much for the super chat, How to Bachelor. Really appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to Justin Console Kits. You'll notice that I've got these cool pop-ups now, like on OBS. That's all thanks to Justin Console Kits. He's actually one of the contributors to this add-on app that we're doing, so yeah, announcing announcements. Yeah, that's what they do, Material Defenders. Pew 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 fakes, Kongzaros says. No, you're the man, Justin. You're the man. Bring it up. Look, I can do that. Pew 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 fakes. I can bring this stuff up now. I feel like I'm a real boy for once. I'm going to put my chair up a little bit, guys. Oh, I put it down. I put it down. There we go. That's more like it. Now I'm above the pew pew pew. Pliskin's from What's Happening, brother. I love this app. This is great. Pretty much no need for StreamYards anymore. And also, I got to give Justin huge credit as well, because I'm going to put How to Bachelor's chat back up there. I'm going to give Justin huge credit as well, because I don't know if you notice, it looks a lot better here lately, and people have been asking me, did I get a new camera? I actually did not get a new camera. This is all thanks to lighting. Justin gave me a heads up on some good lighting I could get for my desktop workaround situation, and I want to say thank you so much, Justin, because what a difference. And then also, my buddy Weekend Game Guy gave me a heads up about, I use just a shitty webcam when I'm doing this, and he gave me a heads up on how to improve my webcam, white balance and all that stuff, and it's paid off. How to Bachelor again with another $2 super chat. Thank you so much, brother, for Justin's presence. Yeah, I appreciate it. Dave Schultz, thank you so much, man. 19K Fox. I actually been talking to 19K Fox a little bit more lately. He's in our secret creator chat. So, good guy. Good guy. Oh, I know a secret. You guys will find out tomorrow. Is it about that iArcade version 2? I was actually at my friend Mike Dalton's house earlier, and the reason I was over there, he gave me a message, and he said, I know you're, I got a gift for you I bought off Craigslist, or whatever you call it here locally. And when I got there, he said, you're a big Back to the Future fan, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. He picked me up this Back to the Future 2 1.5 scale replica hoverboard. How cool is that? So thank you very much, Mike Dalton. Anyways, Mike is the guy here locally that has the 9 iArcades with more on the way. So anyways, I was telling him, you're probably going to be disappointed tomorrow when you see all the new iArcades. And he said, no, I'll buy that too. Console fanboy, sup all. I still think that House of the Dead is real. It most certainly is not real, Zohar, and we're going to talk about that, and I will tell you why it's not real. Oh my god, I don't understand why people think it's real. It's crazy. Steve Sale, thank you so much, man. Always enjoy your chillin' chats. I always enjoy you guys coming to hang out with me. Listen to a doofus talk about home arcades and retro gaming. I always appreciate it, guys. All right, so guys, let's talk about it. Arcade1Up CES right around the corner. I didn't think they were actually going to be doing CES. Yeah, there it is. Justin, that's thanks to you, brother. I didn't think Arcade1Up was actually going to be doing CES, but after last week when I talked to you guys, I reached out to John D and I said, hey, John, had a couple of people ask while I was doing the show, are Arcade1Up doing CES this year? And he wrote me back and he was really, really nice. And he said, Happy New Year. And yes, we're going to be doing a presentation virtually. So yes, Arcade1Up is doing CES. I was under the impression, because I had heard rumors, that they weren't doing it until February, which made sense to me, because if they were doing an NFL Blitzcab, why not wait and do the big announcement in February? But still, it makes sense. They're going to be doing CES, so this is going to be happening. Now, leading up to CES, we're going to see a lot of fake stuff, like we've already seen. As you can see from my thumbnail, there was a House of the Dead leak this past weekend. Do we have an official CES date? No, we don't have an official CES date from them. Like we know that iArcade is going to be tomorrow. How to Bachelor Bob, leaked photo of House of the Dead that's out. Yeah, that's right. Announcing spare parts. January 5th to 8th for House of the Dead. Philly Chick, speaking of John D, has been very quiet as of late. I was under the impression that John D's been getting ready for CES. That's what I've been told. There might be other reasons, but that's one of the reasons. Time for the Pro Series. I mean, Pro Line. We can't say Pro Series yet. Well, P-dubs, maybe we can, maybe we can't, who knows? And like, this is the thing. Justin, I mean, the cab is coming, definitely Photoshop, but I mean, it's to test if we want the cab. Here's the thing. I agree with that. I'm not saying a House of the Dead isn't happening. I'm just saying what we saw isn't it. Now, let me see. I should have had this ready. I'm sorry, guys. I suck. But I'm going to just bring up the picture here now. Oh my God, why didn't I have this ready? Because I was busy. Yeah, of course it's not ready. I think that's not it. Nope, cancel that, guys. I can't find it. Hold on here now. Anyways, so if you go back to the picture I'll put up, give me a second. Nope, that's not what I want either. You guys are going to be able to tell what I use. I'll just leave it alone. So if you look at the picture of the House of the Dead that leaked, there's a couple dead giveaways which tell whether or not this is real. Like one of the big ones for me, you can see in my thumbnail, I pointed out the Sega logo. There's a Sega branding right on the marquee. There's also a Sega branding up on the marquee, but there's also a Sega branding right on the bezel. And the thing about that, why that makes that so interesting is the fact that we know that Arcade1Up Sega cabinets don't actually have the Sega branding right now. Unfortunately, due to issues with what we've been told from John D. Hey, Nintendo, what's happening, brother? We'll go back to Justin's comment in a second. This is my good friend Nintendo, Joe Dunbar. What's happening? So, when Arcade1Up made Outrun, when Arcade1Up made Golden Axe, you'll notice the very noticeable lack of Sega branding. And what I was told from John D directly when I asked him about it was, due to past projects Sega have had with different companies, they're a little gun-shy to use the Sega branding on any third-party products that aren't actually Sega directly made. That's what I was told. Now, I don't know if that's accurate, or if you look at Arcade1Up stuff, they very rarely ever have branding on like their marquees or cabinets. I got to get to something here in a second. But that's a dead giveaway unless something's changed, that this is a fake cabinet. I want to say right here, this is Sterling Hall. Sterling Hall, what's happening, brother? So, if you guys have the Tron cabinet and you saw that close to million score and you said, wow, that's gotta be fake, there's no way that's real, this is the Sterling Hall, who has the almost million score in Tron. He actually wrote me after I did, I think might have been my gameplay, Sterling, and said, yeah, that's my score. So everybody congratulate Sterling. He is the number one in the leaderboards for Tron, Arcade1Up Tron. Oh, Jamie Logan, you and your fake Couchcade leaks. So, did Arcade1Up purposely create a leak, bad Photoshop, just to see the reaction? No, I think maybe Mason Conrad and Justin Console Kits maybe made a bad fake. Usually if there's some kind of fake Arcade1Up project out there, that's where I think it came from. You two guys messing around. It is a fake. So we talked about the Sega branding on it. The other one that's a dead giveaway is this is just a reformed Big Buck Hunter cab. You look at the shape of it, it's the exact same shape except for the marquee up top. And then the other thing that's a dead giveaway is that mono speaker. The mono speaker for Big Buck Hunter. That was specifically put in there, not for shooter cabs, but for Buck Hunter, because Buck Hunter was a mono speaker game in the arcades. So our next shoot 'em up cab that we've got coming out, T2 shooter cab, is going to have stereo speakers. And believe me, if they make a House of the Dead cab, that's also going to have stereo speakers as well. And it's not going to have the same body shape as Big Buck Hunter. Also, if you take a look at the guns, that's a really bad Photoshop. The whole thing is a terrible Photoshop. And my favorite part, I wish I had the picture up here, is the chef's kiss that they added to it of putting the Toycade watermark over the bottom of it, because that's what killed it for everybody. Everybody was like, oh, it's 1000% real. Because Toycade was he's the what do you call it, Sherlock Holmes of finding this stuff. Justin put on blast. Not at all. It's just a mock-up Back Games driving cab. Now that's funny. I wish someone had taken the time to maybe cover up that At Games driving cab a little bit before we got that video. My fake renditions only go on video thumbnail for clickbait, not Facebook. That's true. So they're saying, fine. I did the Photoshop. Oh, that's funny. Wow, and I was so happy to break 20,000 in Tron. Sterling score is insane. Yeah, so, Jennifer, now you know how we all feel when we're looking at your scores on Arcade1Up Star Wars. That's how we feel when we look at your scores. Sterling scores are pretty insane, and I think if Sterling's still here in the chat, you can ask him. But Sterling actually had a record back in the day, too. I'm pretty sure that's what he told me. I can't remember exactly. Hey, Akuma Rev, what's happening? If I had to have a crystal ball, I'm going to guess one Arcade1Up Mega Bomb will be free Capcom versus Street Fighter 2, CVS 2, that will put more pressure on Sony and Marvel to collaborate again. Okay. CVS 2. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. I mean, I know everybody's trying to get these guys back together. Hopefully that happens. Rev, I don't know. See, if you're going to tell me it's a Mega Bomb, I know how close you are with John, and so I don't know what to do with that. I also don't want to be spoiled. This is the first CES or Arcade1Up period in a very long time where I actually don't know what's going to happen. And I'm excited like everybody else. I get to find out instead of walking into it on eggshells, and the only excitement finding out whether or not what I knew was accurate, right? Thank you very much, Rev. Sterling broke 1 million. I broke my stick. Sterling actually has a cracked stick as well, if you talk to Sterling. Unfortunately, that seems to be, it's not a massive issue. Like more often than not, people aren't having problem with their Trons. But a couple of cases, very few, of people having, cracked off sticks, like a couple of people that I talked to, Attorney Arcade and other people, and then a couple of people having the encoder board issue I'm having, then some other people having issues with the push-pull spinner, but most people are just really happy with their Trons. I gotta say that. Emery Arcade, make a thumbnail every day. He does, like, every time I make a thumbnail, he takes I'll throw it in our group chat, and he takes my thumbnail. It makes a mock one of me somehow. It's something. It really is. Yeah, my Tron froze up one time. My Windows 10 froze up 100 plus. I feel your pain, Hobby Hands. Thank you so much for the super chat, Hobby Hands. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Hey, Stevie Man's Cave, just dropping in. Look forward to catching the replay. Thanks, Steve Victoria. I appreciate it, brother. I have a prediction there will be a Pac-Man sit-down cave because 2022. I have a huge prediction. A very, very huge prediction. Arcade1Up will release another Simpsons cab. Might be Pro Line, might not be Pro Line, but it will have online leaderboards. You heard it here first. There will be a Pac-Man announcement at CES this year. Yeah, and huge congratulations to Justin Console Kits, as Arcade Deals website is back up again. Very, very, very cool. I know that was a beacon of hope for people during the $50 wave. You remember that? Not last summer, but the summer before, where pretty much all those Wave 3 cabinets went on sale for like $50, and there's the picture of the guy driving down the road on his motorcycle with a Marvel Superheroes cabinet on his lap. Pac-Man or Simpsons? Are you asking me? P-Dubs, Pac-Man with online leaderboards will be announced. That's what I'm saying. Pac-Man is a given, 100%. Guys, it's my niece, Isabella Burry. Hi, Isabella, what's happening? Isabella is the absolute best. She's going to be a world-famous dancer one day, and she's my daughter's best friend. So, back to the main topic. We're talking about fakes here. Obviously, House of the Dead, the image that we saw, unfortunately, was a fake. I'm not saying that they're not going to do a House of the Dead as soon as this year, but that wasn't it. The other thing I want you to be careful of, I don't anticipate there being a driving cab or a shooter cab announced at CES right now, just because you've got to think about the timelines on this. They still haven't released T2 and Outrun to the consumers yet. So if they announce tomorrow new shooting cabs, new driving cabs, that may take some of the luster away from the cabinets that are yet to come out. So yikes. I think you're going to see a timeline more like what we saw with T2 and Ridge Racer. It might be next year around Q3 before we see an announcement about the next shooter cab or driver cab. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm absolutely crazy, and maybe they're going to start doing more than one shooter, one driver per year. We'll see. I know, right? How does someone get 2 million in Tron? Like, you have to be so good. What happened to track and field? I think so. I think that track and field is coming. Maybe it was supposed to be out last year, but they knew they were dropping a bunch of stuff. So, yeah. I think track and field will be with the next run. That's my guess. Crafty, I'm here for track and field. I think Arcade1Up's going to be surprised by the demand for track and field. Like, if you watch the interview that... I think it was... No, it was Console Kits last night. He talked about it, and I might be wrong. It might be unqualified critics. Whoever gets credit for this, I apologize if I'm stealing. So, Arcade1Up Tron did so much better than what they were expecting. I know it's pretty much sold out here everywhere in Canada except for at the Brick. You can't buy through Walmart, Best Buy, gone. Just gone. And I don't know what purchases are like in the States, but I think Tron sold a lot better than they were anticipating. I mean, you heard John D talk about it. He's like, Tron, like, it's cool, not my favorite game, but it ended up doing tremendously well. So it showed Arcade1Up. There is this demographic of classic arcade collectors that want these special games done really well. So I think now, with that in their back pocket, maybe this gives them more motivation to get Dragon's Lair out to the consumers. Maybe this gives them more motivation to do shit like Track and Field, to do shit like Robotron 2084. It doesn't need to be Smash, guys. Super Smash TV. It can be Robotron, and people will buy it. You know why? Try and find a Robotron for a reasonable price. Jaster and Mariel, I'm not playing Track and Field on those buttons. That's going to be a funny conversation. Like, we can have that when it's announced. Everybody hates the buttons, and I mean, Track and Field now. Whew. Twisted Chris included now due to unqualified critics mentioned. I don't understand. WKRP in Cincinnati, 80 games will kick butt. Yeah, if you listen to that interview that Unqualified Critics did with... If you listen to that interview Unqualified Critics did with the guy from ThinkUp, Jerry from ThinkUp, they seem to have two demographics now within Arcade1Up. They have a 90s and an 80s. And I'm all over the side with that because I'm going to have a video coming out very soon about, it's almost like New Year's gaming resolutions. And one of the ones I made is realizing that while 90s arcade stuff is really cool and some of the really early stuff I got a lot of nostalgia for, I'm leaning more and more towards interest in 80s gaming in my arcade. So I think I'm going to shift my focus with Arcade1Up away from all these arcade 90s announcement that they're doing that I think they think there's a huge market out there for, and stick with the 80s stuff. That's the stuff that I always end up playing the most and have the most appreciation for. So, I think 80s game, I think there's more of a market for the classic arcade stuff, and I don't think there is as much of a market for the 90s stuff, but maybe that's what they're trying, and they think that the demographics there for the casual market. I could be completely wrong. I think 80s games are where their bread will be buttered if they really cater to that demographic. But then again, here's the other side of it. NFL Blitz and Universal Pinball. There are people out there that want exactly that. Harold Miller, I like some 90s, but I prefer the 80s. That's where I am, Harold, and that's where I'm going to modify my arcade. Did Track and Field use leaf switches? I can't remember. Incoming. Ink equals incoming. Has to do with one person thinking the other one is a turd. Okay. Wait. You're telling me they come out with a House of the Dead and you're not picking it? Come on, man. I don't know. I'll probably end up getting a shooter cab. It might be T2 yet. I still might get T2. I don't know. House of the Dead, I'm not saying I wouldn't get that. Console Kids knows exactly what it is. I'm 90s kid turned 80s. Yes, I didn't start going to the arcades until like the late end of the 80s and early 90s. And my arcade time really was from around 89 to about 95, 96. And then that's kind of when I waned away. But, when I got back into this, buying these Arcade1Up cabinets, got interested into the arcade concept, I am pulled more towards the early 80s games and the score chasing stuff than I am even the 90s stuff that even I had nostalgia for. It's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing. By the way, Tron wraps at 1 million and the leaderboard doesn't keep track when it does. That's why it stopped. No way. So you actually probably scored more than 1 million points when you did that. Wow. Sterling, you're blowing my mind here, brother. I feel like the 90s games were played primarily on console, so the arcade nostalgia isn't as strong. Yeah, it was a whole different experience, but there is no wrong answer here. Like, it's whatever people want, whatever people works. I think that we all have our personal interests in what we want. I think there's a lot of people out there that, throw it out like they want to see like classic 80s games and like weird shit too. Like stuff like Wacko. Like, have you ever seen a Wacko cab or like Journey? I mean, this is stuff they're probably never going to make, never going to get a dedicated cab, but it doesn't mean people don't want it. It's like Pole Position. Like, every time there's a racing cab announced, you'll hear people talk about Daytona, Rush, Cruis'n USA, but there's a dedicated classic arcade contingent out there that every time it's just like, so Pole Position? Is Pole Position going to happen now? Kong Zeros, 90s kid all day long, but I have a good appreciation for the 80s. Kong has it right. I had to bring two of those up. So, I don't know if you guys ever watched the show Arcade Impossible. If you haven't, you got to go watch it. It's all about... This guy started this back when I started YouTube years and years and years ago. And it's a bit of a long story. I don't know the whole story, but I think he was in a relationship and split up and then was like, screw it, I'm just going to build an arcade in my basement. So him and a bunch of his friends go around and hunting out arcades, and he builds like an arcade in his basement. And I'll never forget the episode. They go to pick up a cab off somebody else, and he's looking around this guy's arcade, and he's got like all kinds of beat 'em ups, fighters, some driving cabs, and you can see the look of disdain on his face. He's just like, a lot of 90s cabs. It's like this hatred that comes over him. It's so funny. But, everybody has different opinions, because I would imagine now if a real arcade collector ever came over to my arcade and I was trying to show it off, he would look around and be like, ugh, Arcade1Ups. It would be the same thing. It's funny. So, according to that interview, I think this year will be a good year in the sense that we're going to see a good mix of 80s and 90s games when it comes to what Arcade1Up plans to release. A lot of the big titles in my mind that would be store titles that they can kind of play off what's popular now in the media and stuff like that, they already have out. So I'm interested. It's not that simple to guess what they're going to do this year. Like NFL Blitz, I think. Smash TV is another one that I think we're going to get a Smash TV cab. I think it's going to have Smash TV, Total Carnage, and Robotron, which I'm really excited about because I want to get Robotron for my arcade. It's just I don't want it in that form factor. I want Robotron with the Robotron art. I don't think I'm going to get it. I think it's going to be Smash TV. I know a lot of people are excited about that. They have super nostalgia for Smash TV. It's just, you watch all these classic arcade tours and you talk about these arcade collectors, and dear God, is Robotron like that desired cab? So that's the one I would want to get. Jamie Loken with a good question. Is there any truth to the fact Sega lost the code for House of the Dead 1? That's one of the big rumors when it comes to Saturn collecting. That's why so many people go out and buy that Sega Saturn House of the Dead 1 copy, and why it's so expensive is because of that rumor. I don't know if it's true. I've never seen House of the Dead 1 redone, ever, that I can think of. Like, even in the compilations, you only get House of the Dead 2. I can't remember. For some reason, is there some kind of code that if you beat House of the Dead 2, then you can play House of the Dead 1? I don't know. Yeah, guys, if you want Arcade1Up to do Robotron art instead of Smash TV, everybody reach out and tell them. Oh, Vic Vicious. I'm praying we see either Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 3 Trilogy cab at CES. I think that another Big Blue is coming, and you guys might be happy with that. It depends. Sterling Hall, I'm hoping they release Dragon's Lair. That's where my heart is at, I think, with the next cabinet I'm going to get. I mentioned it in my Arcade1Up room tour. I don't think I'm going to be keeping my Marvel X-Men vs. Street Fighter cabinet, because I'm just not playing it. Even with the online features and the community, that's not my jam. So I think I'm going to let that go, and that's going to make room for Dragon's Lair. Dave Schultz, thank you so much for coming a new member from the Michael B. OnlyFlans. Jason, I want Smash TV art. A lot of people do. They love that cab. Scott Bomer, Smash TV all the way. I know. How about Qbert? I think there's a chance. I know P-Dubs has been asking for Qbert for a long time. But, yeah. Definitely want more Street Fighter cabs. Oh, Mike Sarna saying Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I don't think we'll get that just yet because there's more problems with that. That would be a huge surprise if they could pull that off. And I know the fighting community is yeah. Michael B., here's your worst nightmare. Smash TV is the Proline Serious Cab and Robotron is just a countercade. No! It'd be so sad. So sad. I could see them throwing Karate Champ on a twin stick cab since Scott B said it was his all-time favorite. What the problem with that is you can't just throw games on a twin stick cab unless it makes sense. And we know Karate Champ is a Data East game, so it's got to be paired with other Data East games. It'll be hard to get that on like a cab with Williams games. That's the kind of stuff that people always like, oh, it's cool because you think in MAME where you can just do this. If you're going to build your own MAME twin stick game, a twin stick cab, I'm going to throw all these twin stick games on there. But it's not that easy to do when you actually think about, how this foolishness works. Can you make a video covering Arcade1Up's virtual appearance and announcements at CES? Much love, my brother. Thank you so much for the super chat, Dave Schultz. I 100% will be making a video covering Arcade1Up at CES and all these other companies, depending on what they do. I've got time allotted. I'm getting my baby's room ready this week, so I've been pretty tied up with that. But every other second outside of that, that's exactly what I'll be doing. No problem, Dave. Thank you. I can definitely do that for you, my man. And thanks again for the super chat. I have House of the Dead for the Sega Saturn, but the Japanese version disc still counts, right? It does. It's just not worth as much. Do you think they will continue releasing last year's releases on Countercade? I'd like a Tempest and curious what you think. I don't know. It all depends on how the Countercades are doing financially. If they're doing well, expect to see more Countercades. Not... pole position with APB would be sick. I seen a real APB not too long ago. I didn't know what condition the cab was in, but it had me thinking. Yes, I know X-Men had Konami and Data East, but if you listen to John D, when he did that, that was a very special circumstance, and the only reason they did that was because of the Marvel tie-in. It's not as simple as that, guys. I wish it was. But Data East is one of the ones that might be easier to work with. What is it, G-Mode? Upgraded versions of Rampage and Space Invaders are what we really need, in my opinion. I don't know. I think maybe if you're going to get another Rampage, it might be a Legacy Edition cabinet, or maybe they do a Pro line. Space Invaders, yeah, they should have done a better version of Space Invaders. Hopefully they revisit that. It's hard with a Taito cab, because what else do you put on it? Oh yeah, that 100% How to Bachelor. It's all about money. That's the hard part. Can you imagine Jim Harper 3-pair? Congo Bongo. I'm not that familiar with Congo Bongo, Sterling, but I'm wondering... Is it the same company that did Qbert? Because it was Gottlieb who did Qbert, right? I could be wrong, but it was a weird company. It wasn't like a normal company. I know that Arcade1Up has the rights to it, but I don't know who did Congo Bongo. And I know if they did do Qbert, they could also do Qbert Cubes, I think would be the other one. They would probably stick with it. This is one I'm really interested in because Wayfair had a listing for Arcade1Up Star Wars cabinets a little later this year, so you can start putting orders in. So there's a chance there's a re-release or maybe some new old stock of Star Wars maybe coming out. But what I would like to see is a re-release of Star Wars with online leaderboards. Because we've got our friend here, Philly Chick, and imagine she would be the Sterling Hall of the Arcade1Up Star Wars lineup. Yeah, Congo Bongo is Sega. I'm not familiar with Congo Bongo at all. Not familiar with Congo Bongo at all. Anyways, before I forget, like, just be careful. Over the next couple days, you guys are gonna see a lot of images out there, and for some reason, I don't know why people get excited about making these fake images like that there. I mean, even sticking Toycade's watermark on it. And the funny thing was, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but 19K Fox actually reached out to Toycade and confirmed that he didn't make that picture. So, I mean, people are just doing this weird stuff to try to get people excited just to mess with you. So just be careful. Like, use common sense like I used here. Look at the picture, look at it closely, see if there's any flaws, you can pick it out. Now, unfortunately, there are going to be leaks. Probably by Arcade1Up directly on Reddit, like an hour before they go live, and hopefully that doesn't happen this year, because I really do want to be surprised. I legitimately want to be surprised. What's coming out with iArcade? I was talking about this earlier with Zohar, actually, and Ragman, I think Qbert. What was Qbert? I don't know who made Qbert. For some reason, I think it was. I'm not sure. I will look it up right now, live, while we're doing this. All right. You guys got me. Qbert. Arcade game. Yeah, original author was Gottlieb. Qbert was Gottlieb. For once, I was right. And then we've also got Star Wars Trilogy, the Sega version. So, no, you're not going to see that this year. From what I understand, the retailers were read the Riot Act because, like, most of the leaks last year came from retailers getting this information early and accidentally putting it out. And it's not going to happen this year. They were read the Riot Act. There was different places. Arcade1Up got smarter this year. Even if you look at the, what is it called? The, oh my God, where unqualified critics and all those guys always go to get that special information. The patents. Even the patents, they can't get pictures out of the patent office anymore, where the Couchcade information came from. And Jamie Loken sent me this joke picture about a Couchcade, and he keeps asking me to show it for some reason here in the chat. Oh yeah, Zohar, that's what we were talking about. So iArcade information, I don't think that we're going to get new software. For some reason, I'm really leaning towards this. I think it's going to happen. iArcade tomorrow is going to announce a new cabinet. And I was talking to Zohar about it because he was asking the chances of games. You know, Zohar wants to see Run and Gun too. But I think tomorrow is going to be... It's going to be a new cabinet. I'm surprised. I didn't think they would do it this soon, but I think we're going to get a new cabinet from iArcade tomorrow. Toiletcade. Yeah, everybody keeps asking me that. Toiletcade. Fortnite cool? I do not know. I do not know. I wish they weren't $700 because it's really, really hard to resell these for more than about, like here in Canada, they're up to about $800 now, and it's really, really hard to resell these for more than about $400. So when they were $600 and you resold it for $400, you didn't feel as bad. But now, I mean, you're really taking a haircut every time you want to turf one out. So it's getting harder and harder to make a change. Me too, but I don't think that's going to happen. I do think we're going to get new Arcade1Up pinball cabinets. Okay, back to cooking and watching. Zohar, it's so surreal to me that we're on such a time difference. I mean, you're 4.5 hours behind me. So it's 11:12 where I am right now. So you're right around, what, like 5:30? Somewhere like that? Jason Tierney, what's happening, Jason? Run and Gun had the best camera angle. I've actually never played Run and Gun. Not once in my life. Rockin' Around, I think it's just going to be a new cabinet, brother. I hope so, but like it's not. I wouldn't buy it. I'm not interested in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but there's a budgeting fighter community happening right now in the Arcade1Up landscape, so it will be huge for them. So I hope it happens, and it will be such a surprise if it does. We'll see. Yeah. I still don't think that's gonna happen. I wish it would. I mean, like I will literally, I don't know. I will literally freak out. Art Davidson might be onto something. I do think if we do get a new Star Wars cabinet tomorrow, or not tomorrow, then when Arcade1Up does their CES presentation, I do think the Star Wars cabinet might be Mandalorian themed, and have the new Mandalorian table that's, to my understanding, only currently available through Star Wars Pinball FX3 on the Oculus Quest, the 3D version. How to Bachelor, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. How far east are you? I'm at the most easterly point in Canada. So I'm on an island off the east coast of Canada in Newfoundland. So I am as far east as you could possibly be. You guys wait and see. You'll see a change in me this year. Not because like it's anything intentional. It's just it's gonna be the way. It's gonna be the way that it has to be with the kid coming. You'll see. He's 2 hours east of Eastern Time Zone. I'm an hour and a half east of Eastern Time Zone. Yeah. We don't know, Ray. We don't know. The only information I've got so far is that they are going to be doing a virtual presentation during E3. My guess would be, depending on how big it's going to be. I don't know if they're doing something like going with like a very, very big source, something like a media outlet, like what they did with E3, going with different media outlets, or if it's going to be, more grassroots. Maybe they'll do the weekly retro party this week. That seems to be where they're doing most of their stuff. So it could be either one. I don't know. We haven't got an official announcement yet. My guess would be it'll be maybe something they do themselves, or maybe they're going to work with a partner. But honestly, there's not very much information out there. Anything that's out there, people are being very tight-lipped about. I haven't heard anything yet. And I know that they haven't even shared this information with retailers yet, from what I understand. You are 30 minutes later than me. I'm in New Brunswick. That's right. You guys are on Atlantic time, and I'm on Newfoundland time. So, yeah, in New Brunswick, it's a half hour earlier than here. There it is. Dewey did on. I think you're going to be very happy. That's my guess. That's my guess for the big cab they're going to announce this year. It's going to be NFL Blitz, especially last year where they did that partnership. Don't be surprised if Blitz is their big cabinet they announce this year. I think we might get another big fighter. We'll see. We'll see. Yep, it's a half-hour thing. It's weird. Newfoundland has its own time zone. This little tiny province with only, like 500,000 people here. 400 and plus thousand all live in the major city we're in, over 80% of the population. But we've got this large geographical island with only 500,000 people, and because of that, we have our own time zone. It's weird. Very weird. Anyways, that's going to be about it. Keep an eye out for fakes. Don't believe everything you see. Just take some time and take a look at it. Be analytical when you see a leak. Like when that House of the Dead leak came up, it was everywhere. It was all over the Arcade1Up Canadian fan page, and they were all sharing it. They were like, "Oh my God, Toy Cage shared this out," and I was like, Everybody calm down. This isn't real. That's wild, man. I've never seen anybody just leave a football game like that. That Antonio Brown stuff is just stuff of legends. Can you imagine just taking off your clothes and being like, I quit, I'm out of here? But from what I understand, he was fired before he did that. Did your Tron arcade cabinet break? My Tron cabinet hasn't worked since pretty much right away. Like, we're talking 4th, 5th day, my trigger stopped working intermittently, then it got worse and worse and worse, and then the trigger just stopped working altogether. Now, my stick didn't break because I never had the rigors of using it that way because my trigger stopped working. Other people's stick broke. I just made a video covering the issues that I had run across and friends had run across. No, my stick didn't break off. And I wanted to bring up the fact that they don't have any replacement parts right now, just to give people a heads up. I was talking to Glenn last night about this, and everybody's saying, like, epoxy resin to fill the hollow parts with hard plastic. I don't think everybody needs to be scared of their Tron stick breaking. Obviously, you want to have the shaft up a little higher, the metal shaft, in order for sturdiness. But if they use good enough plastic, it should be okay for, like, basic rigors. But what it might be is just some kind of weird screw up in the way a couple sticks are made, and that's why they're breaking. So it could just be I don't know, like something happened at that point. I don't think everybody is going to have that issue with the stick breaking. I don't know. Pliskin's Run, thank you so much for the support, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you for anybody that did give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback. Yeah, look forward to your competition on MK Live, Console Fanboy. So that's one of the other big ones. If the Pro line comes out, we all know that we're getting that Mortal Kombat Live, and we're all wondering, is it going to be Mortal Kombat 1 themed? The rumor out there right now is we're going to get it with no Piscina on the side. It's just going to be the dragon. We'll see. I mean, I hope he's on it. I hope they can make it happen and make it real. Hopefully. Jamie Logan, gotta have a sturdy shaft. Truer words have never been spoken, Jamie. Truer words have never been spoken. Hey, Lara, what's happening? Second Spy Hunter. Spy Hunter would be an absolutely out of nowhere announcement. Seriously. Nikki Z. Seriously, no more MK and Street Fighter. Yeah, we talked about this a couple years ago, fighter fatigue. But with the online fighter community, there's definitely room for that. I don't need to buy any more Street Fighter cabinets. I have 2 currently, so I don't need any, but we'll see. We got a 90s arcade guy here. Corey MCC wants Soul Calibur, Doom, Daytona, House of the Dead. Who can do it and when? I think they can do it. It's just a matter of... See, I don't know if their current chipset can run some of these. That's the thing. Like, some of these might be new. You know what? I think it's still a huge deal if MK Online is real. Could care less about the artwork, honestly. Sounds like somebody's completely changed his tune. And recently. Yeah, Zohar, we all feel the exact same way, too. We'd love to see, the original artwork, even if they don't have Johnny Cage on the side. We just want to see the game get made 100% in the exact same position you are, brother. MK Online would be dope. Doesn't matter what's on the side. Me, personally, I want to see more Mortal Kombat 2 artwork, since that's my favorite of the 3 cabinets, or 4 cabinets. Just convinced John D we need Mortal Kombat 4 on there as well, Zohar. Yeah, I think everybody does want House of the Dead, and I think that's why that fake cabinet caught so many people, caught their interest, is because they want House of the Dead so bad that people are thirsty for any information on possibly House of the Dead or any cab like that. So, yeah, that's why that rumor took off. Like, if somebody put a rumor out there about what's a cab nobody wants, a new Pac-Man, maybe that would take off too because people would be upset. But like, I think of a cab nobody wants. If someone put a rumor up about that, I don't think it would fly as much. One that really surprised me that looked like an obviously fake cab and people really went to town on a couple of years ago was that Virtua Fighter cab, and people went nuts. They were like, "Oh my god, we're getting Virtua Fighter," and I was like, "It's obviously a fake, guys. That's not a real cabinet." But there we go. Dental plan. Lisa needs braces. Dental plan. Hey, Mr. Dude, what's happening, brother? Koja Jangles. A lot of people want Daytona USA, but the problem with that is a lot of people want it to be a sit-down cab, and they gotta do it. Gotta do it right. Matt Gilson. My wife gave me the okay on House of the Dead. I mentioned this earlier in the video, and I do want to clarify to people, I don't think, unless they change their strategy, that we're going to get a shooter or a driver announced at CES. Because you got to think about it, Ridge Racer and T2 still haven't hit store shelves, so they need time, like a lifespan, for those cabinets to sell before they're going to release new. Unless they've changed their policy and they're going to go with multiple shooters and drivers per year. But if they're sticking with the theory on one per year, I think we won't see those cabs get announced till quarter 2, quarter 3 next year. So don't expect any drivers or shooters. I think what you're going to get is maybe Proline announcement. I think you're going to get a couple new cabs. Like we're going to see Smash TV. You're going to see Track and Field, NFL Blitz. And then you're going to see new pinballs. So maybe we get Universal. I'm not 100% sure on that. There's going to be a new Marvel. Looks like Hulk is going to be the Marvel one. I think there's going to be a new Star Wars. Mandalorian might be the theme on that one. And then another Bally Williams table, which I think might be Funhouse. If I had to pick from the titles left, there we go. Nikki Z says over 5,000 Ridge Racers at the port already. Yeah, and that's what I heard too, and same with Killer Instinct, and they've been there a while too, which is the crazy thing. Miss Pac-Man doesn't like people sitting on her face. I don't know what's going on there. Papa Brad's Gaming, what's happening, brother? I have an Arcade1Up Joust tool, so I'm assuming Joust cab is on the horizon. Maybe a Midway Legacy rebranded to Joust. That's possible. I don't think they'd do their own. Maybe... Is there enough interest in Joust to do, like, their own cab? I don't know. If it can't happen, it can't happen. Happen to MK Online would be absolutely insanity. I want MK3 artwork. Am I crazy? LOL. No, you're not crazy. We've been talking about that earlier today. I can't remember who it was in our private chat, but I think it was 19K Fox said the exact same thing, Zohar. And thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Yeah, 19K Fox said the same thing. Why not just throw MK3 artwork on it? Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with that. Well, I mean, I personally have always enjoyed the Mortal Kombat 2 artwork. That's been my favorite, so... Oh, here's a good one. Re-release Frogger with no pixel smoothing and a bunch of other Konami classics included. I talked to John D about this, and the thing about it is, the hard thing with Frogger for the art... is Sega actually owns the rights to the art. But now that they have Sega on board, they can actually probably get the art, the proper art for Frogger and do the cabinet right. Then you do it, you take the pixel smoothing off, and hopefully that will be a Konami Legacy cab. So you can have the Time Pilot games again, maybe throw Contra on there. Unfortunately, I think if they redid it, maybe Contra would be the lead game. I hope not. I have no problem with Contra being on there, but I would still like to have Frogger be the lead game. And I would definitely replace my Frogger for that one right there. Isabella Burry, they should make an NHL Arcade1Up. Believe it or not, that has actually been another highly requested cab, Isabella. There's an NHL 2-on-2, Open Ice 2-on-2, and I think that's something Arcade1Up should look at as well. I think people will be pretty excited about that. Good question, Isabella. And you should tell your dad to put it on one of your cabinets if you don't have it already. No new Froggers. We have 500 to sell.
She should not be encouraging you.
Bella's not encouraging me.
She should not be encouraging you.
I don't know if you're going to hear Lara in the background. It would be awesome if MK Online had MK4. Yeah, I know it's not everybody's favorite MK game, but just if you're going to do a Mortal Kombat Legacy cab or a Mortal Kombat Anniversary cab, throw Mortal Kombat 4 on there. Come on, guys. Matt, I appreciate that. I know it's your favorite 80s arcade game. I don't know. I don't know. Me personally, I would rather have the Frogger, but you know, if it doesn't go that way, I hope you can get your Contra Cab. That'd be cool. How to Bachelor. I agree with Isabella. I will tell her How to Bachelor. Thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Isabella will appreciate that. Konami Legacy Machine. Nintendo. I don't think we'll ever get a Nintendo Legacy. I don't think they'll even get Nintendo. Sega Legacy. Sega Legacy would be cool too. I'm interested to see what will happen. A lot of people are hoping for a Sega Legacy cab that would have the Golden Axe games on it, but have a 2-player cab. Whatever makes Michael B buy more Arcade1Up cabs, I'm absolutely for. I actually got to buy less cabs, guys. I got a little kid coming. Retro Ralph always says to me, Michael B needs to buy diapers. And that is true. I need to buy diapers. I probably can't buy as much as I've been buying the last couple of years this year. We'll see. I know a lot of people would really like that. 4-player Arcade1Up Capcom Dungeons & Dragons Tower of Doom and Shadow of Mysteria. I know. Taylor Vision says Punch-Out would be great. Punch-Out would be a hard one to do because Punch-Out had that dual-screen arcade cabinet. So, I mean, you could do it with a vertical screen and it would be a little bit funny. I don't know. You could do it with Punch-Out and then you would have to get 2 screens in it. If you're going to do it right, do it right. So you'd have to get 2 screens. You couldn't just make it 1 screen. So you could do Punch-Out and then Super Punch-Out, and then I don't think there's anything else you can put in there. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you'll get a Legacy, but like a Nintendo Arcade1Up with Donkey Kong. Yeah, David, House of the Dead was super fake. It's obviously someone took the body of what is a Buck Hunter cab and then just reworked it to make it look like House of the Dead. I mean, House of the Dead's not going to have the same shape as a Buck Hunter cab. Come on, guys. It's going to look like a House of the Dead cab, and it's not going to have a mono speaker, and it's not going to be Sega branded. That's the whole point of this. Use common sense. Don't give in to the hype. Take a look at it. You all know what Arcade1Up's stuff looks like. And here's maybe this is a word of the wise to the people who want to make fake Arcade1Up ones. Make sure you have the very specific Arcade1Up backgrounds they always use, like the picture in front of the stairs, because no one's going to believe anything just like a picture like that. It's going to have to be one of their art shots. Find some really weird actors that don't know how to play arcade games, oddly putting their hands toward the controls. That's the kind of stuff you need to throw in there to fool us. We might. I would like to see a redone Final Fight cab. I would be all over that. And then it's tough where Punisher's a Marvel title, but man, oh man, a Capcom beat 'em up cabinet, and if they could get some of the licensed stuff on there, that'd be so good. So good. Walmart Simpsons cab, no stool, $400. Yeah, you got to get on that, guys. The Simpsons cab, it's great. Not a lot of replayability for the people looking for it. If you don't like beat 'em ups, don't grab it. Hey, Mike Dalton, I don't know if you've seen it earlier, but I did mention Back to the Future hoverboard you gave me earlier. Thanks again, brother. Ray Rockwood, I apologize about this. Nintendo's not going to do shit, unfortunately. Because Nintendo is weird. They don't want money. Nintendo put Donkey Kong on their arcade classics on the Switch, and I think that's all they'll ever do. They're a weird company. They're never going to make an N64 mini, even though they can possibly do it. They'd make an N64 mini and have a license to print money. Nah, they're just going to put the games on the Switch. That's all they're going to do. It sucks, but it is what it is. Nostalgia, what's happening, my brother? We need a Sailor Moon arcade cabinet. There's a Sailor Moon beat 'em up out there. If you've never played it, you have to. It's fantastic. Nostalgia would absolutely buy it. Thank you again, Mike Dalton. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, I love my Simpsons cab too. That's actually what I'm going to do as soon as this show's over. I'm going to go down and do a run through the Simpsons. I did X-Men there the other night. I had a lot of fun. I just love beat 'em ups. I turn off my brain. I relax. It's like the coolest, like just cool down period for me, especially the stuff that I really have done. I don't know how to explain it any more than that. I just really, really like it. I'm working at copying TMNT and Golden Tee on the Simpsons PCB. Yeah, you guys got to go try the Sailor Moon beat 'em up. It's actually not bad. Like, it's 100% a game in that era, but like, I think you'll be impressed. It's better than what you think. Oh my god, the Couchcade. Stop talking about the Couchcade. Jamie, I'm not going to show pictures of the Couchcade. Ninja Baseball Batman. I don't have any leaks for nostalgia. You know that. I'm openly avoiding them this year. So I can watch this just like everybody else and be excited and have honest reactions. I can do this conversation tonight without feeling like some kind of schmuck, or I don't know a better word for it, but I don't like pretending not to know. So I love the fact that I'm going into this blind this year. Hey, Scott Gray. Everybody, go check out Scott Gray if you haven't already. I made my third video today, a Funko unboxing. Bought the bullet and brought... I'm Jeff. I'm going to tell you right now, I am 100% looking at real pinballs right now, and it's not looking good. They're so expensive. I saw a Comet the other day, a Williams Comet in Nova Scotia, which is pretty close to me, for about $2,500. So I looked at that. Apparently, here in Newfoundland, where I'm to, like, there's none. There's nothing. I talked to the only only pinball guy that can fix cabinets, fix machines today, about picking one up, and he told me it never happened. You're not going to find one here locally. But I got to go to Quebec or Nova Scotia, so I'm looking there. And there's a Black Knight, an old Williams Black Knight in Quebec right now. I got my eye on, and if I can justify it, maybe that's the way I'll go. So yeah, so Scott Gray, it's on his Mad Astra channel. Scott's good guy, constantly making crazy comments. There we go. They should make a shooter cabinet, no? Like 1992, 93, other big shooters? Well, T2 is coming out, and I think the next one that's coming out after that might be Time Crisis. But, like the leak suggested, that not that it's real, but maybe they are doing a House of the Dead, and we just don't know about it yet. Maybe it's getting shut down and Nintendo's getting arrested. Taylor, I don't think so. I think... Like, you hear John D talk about the licensing stuff, and I don't think that there will ever be a Konami Legacy cab like that. We might get a Konami Legacy cab, but I don't think we'll get a Konami Beat 'em Ups Legacy cab that'll mix all these different licenses like that. It would be crazy, and it would be awesome, and I would definitely be all over it. Like, I was hoping that's what we would get. Simpsons would have, because it's a limited game lineup, would have other Konami like games on it, like Sunset Riders, maybe G.I. Joe, something like that. Never happened, and I don't think you'll get a Legacy one with all of them on it either. Sterling knows Williams Black Knight is an awesome pinball game. This one has a couple issues, so there we go. Yeah, Tyler, Nightmare on Elm Street Pinball popped up in Virginia today for $5,000. Is that overpriced? Perfect condition. Will prices drop 2022 in Arcade1Up? No, I don't think prices are ever going back down again. I think they are where they are. Let's just hope they don't go up anymore. That's where my fingers are crossed. Yeah, and if I could get it here, reasonably shipped, I would have to look at that, because that's the one I want more than anything else. That Nightmare on Elm Street pinball. 100%. Thank you very much for the super chat, brother. I did find out shipping here in Canada, if you use Dan Ross for pinball tables from port to port, is $300. So that's not that bad. So if I can find something like in either Nova Scotia or Quebec, I can get it here for about $300. And Mike Hockhart said, I don't have any kids, but if they did, Elvira's Scared Stiff would be their favorite pinball machine. I know P-Dubs wants that one. I saw one for sale there the other day. I'm on all these pinball buyer pages now, and the guy wanted, I think it was like $9,000 for a perfect condition Scared Stiff. Pinball is super expensive. You guys, potty mouth. Anyways, guys, I've kept you so long tonight. It's 7 minutes past my cutoff time. Other people need to do YouTube too. Hopefully CES is awesome. Don't be fooled by fakes, and hopefully everybody's dreams come true. Fingers crossed for Robotron. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me tonight, hanging out. It was a blast. Thanks for keeping me company. I'm going to do a run through on The Simpsons. Have a great night. This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you guys next time.